Hey guys, I'm super excited to be here with you today. I'm recording from back home and it's so interesting. I just came back from LA and for those of you who don't know, I am moving to California, moving to the West Coast, which is why I go out there so often to, make sure it's the right move for me. And my energy shifts when I am there. And I finally made the decision, like the real decision, not I'm thinking about moving, it's I am moving. And I found like the exact neighborhood that I want to live in and all those kind of things. So it actually brings me to today's point, which is about energy and how that's related to accelerating your results. One of the things that I used to make this mistake all the time, and I see so many clients who come to me making the same mistake, is that they're so focused on all of the strategic and the tactical ways to improve their results. And obviously I teach that kind of stuff, right? I'm great at strategy. I love that kind of stuff. And I love tactics and hacks to make things faster and easier for you. But typically that is not what actually accelerates your results. What actually accelerates your results is who you're being. And I talk about this all the time. I talked about it last week. And when I talk about who you're being, I'm talking about your persistent thoughts and feelings, and then obviously the actions that follow. And that's all related to your energy, right? The energy behind everything that you're doing. Because that is what actually accelerates your results. What people are most of the time doing is they're working their tails to the bone. Thanks for love, by the way. They're working their tails to the bone with all of these strategies, with all these tactics. They're trying the same things and they're just trying to do them harder, right? Trying to push and trying to force and wondering why it's not changing. It's because their energy hasn't shifted. Typically, when you're working yourself to the bone like that, your energy is getting depleted, right? You're not building yourself up. And so it becomes a challenge for you to get the kind of results that you want because you're actually fighting against yourself, right? You don't have the energy that is going to allow for you to receive the things that you're trying so hard to get, right? So when I think about energy, one of the things I want you to think about, listen, you can go to energy healers and all that kind of stuff. I tried doing that stuff and it didn't really work for me personally. It may work for you, and if that's your thing, then make some more appointments, right? To get your energy in alignment with what it is that you're trying to call in. When I think about energy, I think about monitoring my thoughts and monitoring my feelings, right? On a consistent basis. This isn't a one and done. I have a morning practice, I have an evening practice, and throughout the day, when my energy needs a bump, I do something to bump my energy throughout the day. These are the kind of things that you have to do. Most people think that when they're, working on their mindset, when they're wanting to shift that and they're wanting to shift their energy, it's like these segmented times of the day and that's it. It's not that's it, right? It has to become a way of life for you. It has to become the way that you live, right? And so when I think about energy and how it can accelerate your results, we put energy behind everything. And the question is whether or not the direction of the energy or the focus of your energy, whether it is in a positive direction or if it's in a negative direction. If it's in a direction that's going to bring you what you want, or if it's in a direction that's not going to bring you what you want. Are you putting energy behind the things that you're wanting to create, or are you putting energy behind the things that you don't want? Are you finding yourself complaining a lot, right? Being pissed off a lot, right? And sitting in that negative energy? That's certainly not going to get you to the money that you want, or to call in the clients that you want, or to have the relationship you want, any of those kind of things, right? In order to get what you want, you have to put energy on those things, even in the face of circumstances that don't feel pleasing to you, right? Even in the face of that, because you're the one who created those circumstances anyway. So it requires you to be very mindful of your energy, not just on a day-to-day, but in a moment-to-moment, minute-to-minute, right? It's important that you do this. And listen, none of us are perfect. So obviously there are going to be times when you dip, right? And when you dip, you have to know what to do to bring yourself back up. And I've shared many strategies on that in other videos before. I actually personalize this kind of stuff with my clients because it's important that you find strategies that work for you to bring your energy back up, because what works for me may not work for you. What works for one of my clients may not work for you, that kind of thing, right? You also want to make sure that while you're doing this work on yourself, your energy is clean in terms of your environment, meaning, how you feel about where you're living, right? Or where the workspace that you have, the people in your environment, right? Whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's vendors, is their energy in alignment with yours, right? Or are they people who are maybe Debbie Downers, for example, or people who, their energy is a lot heavier? If that's the case, don't think that that won't have an impact on you, right? You want to make sure that your environment supports you and it gives you energy instead of drains your energy, right? That it can even include clients, correct? All right. The last piece of this is, I think I've already touched on it. You have to monitor your energy on a consistent basis. This is the real work. The real work to making more money, the real work to having more peace, more happiness, all the kind of things that you desire is not in the tactics and the strategy, although those things are important. The real work is in who you're being. That's what you need to work on consistently, right? Because once you have the tactics down, once you have the strategy down, it's pretty much rinse and repeat. But if who you're being hasn't up-leveled to match what you're wanting to call in, then it doesn't matter how much of the great stuff that you might have, it's not going to get you the results that you want. It's why you probably are, experiencing maybe a plateau in your business, or basically just not experiencing the level of results that you know that you're capable of, not performing at your potential, right? Typically, I see that happen when people are, again, focused on all of the doing, all the things that they need to put in place, the systems, the processes, and all that kind of stuff, all the tactical stuff, the strategy and all that jazz, but not doing that inner work, right? Not making sure that their energy is in alignment with what it is that they're wanting to call in. And oftentimes, unconsciously putting energy behind the things that they don't want. And I know, I do a lot of this work on a daily basis, and I still have to catch myself. Because we have momentum, right? We've had years of experience allowing our energy to be misused, right? Basically using our power against ourselves. We have years of experience of doing that. And we have to catch ourselves, right? We have to bring ourselves back to focus. I'll give you a really short story before I wrap up. I went, like I said earlier, I was in Vegas, not Vegas, and I don't even like Vegas. I don't know why I would have said that, but I was in LA for the last week, and I had great service. And one of the things I absolutely love is amazing service. And I tip very well when I get great service. And so I had an experience where every morning for breakfast, I had great service. And it was nothing to think about. It was just nice, and I appreciated it, and I, tipped for it and all that kind of stuff. And then I had not so great service. The contrast was so obvious. I had not so great service. And I went into my little place and I was like, I was like, I don't like that I didn't get great service here. And then I started thinking, well, I just won't tip as well. I was like, wait. Why would I allow this experience to change how I like to show up? So I decided, listen, maybe the woman was having a not so great day. Maybe she had a lot of stuff on her mind, and that's why she didn't give me great service. So I just thought about that and I processed that. And so instead of complaining and getting mad about it and getting a little attitude about it, I was like, fine, maybe she just had a bad day. I'll tip her the same, I made that mental choice. Would you believe that all of a sudden, every time she came back to the table, she was so much nicer to me? She actually earned the tip that I was already planning to give her. And it shifted just like that. I didn't have to say a word to her, but my energy shifted, right? Because my thoughts and my feelings about the experience shifted. And so I wasn't pushing against anymore, right? So I wasn't, when someone is coming at you in a way that you don't appreciate, if you push against that, what will you get? You'll get more of that. I stopped pushing against it. I just accepted it and said, okay, I'm not feeding into this. And so it changed my experience, right? And it shifted my energy, and the way that she was towards me was different. She actually earned the tip that I was already going to give her. So that's just a little way, and start to look for those kind of things in your life. If you start to pay attention to who you're being in a moment, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how that's impacting the reality that you're presently experiencing. And know that it can literally shift very quickly. It doesn't always shift quickly. It depends on how much momentum you have going in a particular direction, right? But just know that it can shift quickly, and start practicing so that you have the confidence, so that you have the faith to know that your energy does impact what you're experiencing, and you can choose to change it on a dime, right? So I hope that's been of value to you. If it has, I invite you to like, comment, and share this video with anyone that you think would benefit. And until we speak again, I hope you're up to big, bold things in your life and your business. Take care.